Hey family, this is Shy Arnold, and welcome to the For Grieving Daughter Podcast. I am the owner and founder of For Grieving Daughters. For Grieving Daughters is a nonprofit 501c3, and the purpose of our community is to provide a space for women and young girls who have lost their moms or maternal figures, such as your grandmother. And I'm excited to do this podcast for a couple of reasons. Because one, I want to normalize what life is after grief. And I want to be able to create community with other women who are on their journey of healing, who are on their journey of creating community, and who are simply just trying to continue normalizing that, listen, we got our own legacy to create, and we can also finish and honor our mother's legacy. So, a little backstory. For Grieving Daughter was birthed in 2019 when I reached out to someone, and I just simply put up a post on Facebook that said, for Mother's Day, I want to do something for women who've lost their mom. Mother's Day was always tough for me to navigate. I lost my mom at the age of 10. And in later episodes, I'll tell you what just my childhood experience was like. But biologically, I lost my dad when I was 9. And then a couple of months later, I lost my mom at 10. And so he wasn't my biological dad, but I just say that in reference because I grieved that a little different, and later I was able to create a connection with my biological dad. But that's not the point why we're here today. We're here today to talk about my story as a grieving daughter who chose to go the route of healing. And so back in 2019, I simply just put up a post like, hey, I want to do something for Mother's Day. And someone was like, do it. And this was like in January. And I just felt like if I don't do it, somebody else going to do it, if I'm going to be honest. And so to honor my birthday, because my birthday always falls on Mother's Day weekend. Actually, this year I'm going to be 30 and it's going to be the day before. So I decided to host a motherless daughters brunch. And the purpose of the brunch is to create community, that weekend, and not to mourn, not to grieve, but to celebrate, to have joy, and to have each other. It was such a hit, so shout out to everybody who came. I didn't know what I was doing, but everybody was like, let's do it again. And so that next year, I actually wrote a journal because I, at that point, was on my healing journey, had decided to go to therapy, and the first journal was calling Healing is a Whole Season. And I took the proceeds from that journal, 100% of them, and I decided to create a 501c3. And so now here we are going on our 3rd year celebration this summer. And I'm excited because since then we've been able to start a scholarship, the Yvonne Arnold Scholarship, at Hilbert College, where I used to attend, as well as being able to create numerous opportunities and investing in small businesses, other owners who have lost their moms, and being able to create other grief journals and guides. And we are going on our 4th annual Motherless Daughters Brunch, and I'm excited. This podcast will be a series of opportunities to talk about how we build wealth, how we find joy, how we navigate motherhood, how we prepare ourselves and our community for new members who come on board, and then how we will activate in a community. So it's almost been 20 years for me, and it's not that I don't miss my mom, because I absolutely do. And I feel like the life that I have built now, there's no other person in this world besides my son that I would want to share it with. But my why is because at a young age, I needed someone that was an example like me, someone to show up for prom, someone to show up for homecoming, someone to show up for graduation. And to be completely honest, I realized my village that I had was absolutely fantastic and still is fantastic, but that wasn't what I wanted. And so I wanted to create that space, whether you are a caregiver and your mother has passed away and you're an adult, whether you are a child who was navigating a grief journey like me, whether you freshly were married, having kids, and then your mom passed away, or whether you were raised by your grandmother passed away. And so now that maternal loss or grief is there. And you don't know maybe how to connect with your mother or how to support them in their grief. We are the community for you. And when you decide, you know what, I want to choose joy. I want to choose healing. We want to lock arms with you. We want to support you. We don't want to rush anyone's grief journey, but we want to really focus on the emphasis of turning our pain into passion. So here's what's coming next. We are celebrating our annual Motherless Daughters Brunch on May 6th here in Buffalo, New York. We do have options for virtual attendance. After that, we are kicking off our summer program. So for girls under the age of 18, they can come join us for 8 weeks every Saturday as we begin to build our vision together. We begin to build our value together in our community as young girls. Just it's so critical and important to pour into our young ladies right now, especially in an age where it's like, I don't need nobody. I want to be, independent and all of that. That's cool, but community is so important, and that's really what our goal is and what we're going to do. And then we are going to start to host groups. So for girls like me who lost their mom at a young age, we have group sessions, restorative healing circles. We have sessions for girls who are women, over the age of 18 who don't have the best relationship with their mother. And so there is a grief process that goes with that too. There's a grief process, the abandonment, the rejection you may feel. That is a group that we're going to offer. I'm not going to lead that. I'm going to facilitate with someone else to lead it. And then we will have adult groups for women who have lost their moms and are looking for mentorship or looking for a way to give back. So these are not grief groups. These are healing groups, women who are deciding to come together, empower each other, empower themselves to create the vision for what you want your life to look like, because we owe it to ourselves to understand life after grief.